because the way J. Michael got treated, it's just terrible. I mean, he just didn't deserve it.
So you knew him. I know that you were on like a work program with the jail. Was your cell near him, or tell me, kind of what your interaction with him was like?
I was upstairs. Okay. I was a trustee. I did.
Well,
I went down there and I did all the laundry for all 3-1. Fed him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Cleaned up his cell, pretty much. I cleaned up the showers. I cleaned up the day room. So I was pretty much around him a lot of the days.
And what was he like?
He never talked to anybody. He just pretty much stood by the door, screaming, yelling. I mean, he never talked to anybody.
And his family, and I talked to them yesterday. He was obviously off his medication, and was that kind of apparent that there was something wrong with him?
Oh yeah, I mean, I told a couple of COs that if anybody deserved to be in a hospital, it was him. I mean, you could tell he wasn't faking. I mean, he was legitimately not all there.
And so you gave him his meals?
Yeah, I fed him breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with 2 other guys.
For the whole time you did that every day?
Pretty much.
Wow. And tell me what that interaction was like.
It is a number of occasions. I mean, if you open up his chuck hole and try to hand him his tray, his hands were like reaching for you, trying to grab the tray before you could even get it to him. You know what I mean? He was out trying to grab it. It was like he hadn't eaten for days, or you know what I mean? Just like a hungry person would do. He's just grabbing, and never spoke, never said anything. He never got any drinks. He never had a cup. He ate his food with his hands.
So do most people, when you give them their food, there's a cup on the tray?
No, all inmates get a cup when they come in.
Okay.
Okay, and then if you're under like a suicide watch, they'll give you a styrofoam cup, but you still get your spoon. You still have your spoon. He didn't even have that. He ate all his food with his hands. It was the same hands that he rubbed his feces on the wall with. So, it wasn't until like days before he died that he actually got a cup from one of the, Reggie, one of the trustees.
So the allegations that he was skipped over for meals, do you agree with those?
Well, the only thing that I seen was that he had styrofoam trays, like I said, on the suicide watch. All suicide watch had styrofoam trays.
And that's just for safety.
Right. If he didn't get back the styrofoam tray, the CO would put his dinner on the table and say, "Well, when you give me the styrofoam tray, you'll get to eat." That's the only thing that I seen.
And where's that table? Is that in his cell?
Right in front of the cell.
But outside of it?
Yeah, it was like maybe 15 feet from his door.
So he would have to be well enough not to take his tray and slide it back through?
He would have to give the styrofoam tray back to the CO.
Do you think he was he just too far gone to do
Yeah,
that?
he was too far. He didn't. It was either if he didn't like you, or he didn't talk to you. You know what I mean? He backed off. But he just didn't talk to anybody. You know what I mean? He didn't communicate. He didn't do what he was told. You know what I mean? It's just, I guess, with his sickness or whatever. He didn't comprehend, in my opinion.
Do you think they treated with the leaving his meal outside his cell? I mean, do you think that was intentionally, being mean to him, or that was just kind of policy and it just happened that he didn't eat it because he didn't get it?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, he didn't belong there. I really, and I was there for, we'll say, 6 months. The part that I was there, I got to deal with a lot of mentally ill people, and nobody acted like J. Michael. There are a lot of people, use the bathroom or did whatever, you know what I mean? But he was above all them, and I've seen him get put on a dirty floor butt naked. It's something that you would never do to a human being. You know what I mean? Right beside the table. And to me, that's it's disrespectful. It's, you know what I mean? It's uncalled for.
And what about the part that they cut off the water to it, like the water pipes to his cell?
Well, every suicide risk person has a smock. It's called a turtle suit. Everybody gets it, not J. Michael. J. Michael didn't have no shoes. He didn't have no pillow, no sheet, no mattress. He would try to flush him down the toilet, so they cut off his water supply. And most of the time, like when I would get called in there, he would be standing barefooted in his own urine and feces for however long it was until they called me to come clean the cell.
And so this kept repeating.
I cleaned his cell. I know over the 2 months I was down there, it wasn't until a few days before he died that I actually seen him for the first time in a uniform.
And so while this is going on, you're probably thinking, and tell me if I'm wrong, he's gonna get to go to the hospital soon. He must be on the list.
Well,
What did you think? What did you think about that?
the only time we mentioned hospitals when the first time I cleaned his cell and I seen his foot. His left foot was just, I mean, it was as big as my thigh. That's the only way to describe it. It was just humongous. And we said, hey, look, you need to get that. That needs to be checked out. That's crazy. It was, I can't. I've never seen a foot like that. It's just unbelievable how big it was.